What are the origins of our universe? This has been a question that has never fully been answered. The best answer our current science can provide is the Big Bang theory. But is it correct? In 1919, Albert Einstein attempted to create his own model structure of the universe based on his theory of general relativity and how he thought it came to be. But what if none of the hypotheses are correct? In his 1980s television series, Cosmos, Carl Sagan said, and I quote, "The cosmos is within us. We are made of star stuff. We are a way for the universe to know itself." April of 2022. I was unsure of what I would find, but my intuition gave me the go-ahead to investigate. As usual, I astral traveled to my Akashic record research room with the intention of accessing a man's soul record, which I had received his express permission to do so. And as soon as I entered my research room in the Akashic library, I hadn't even had the chance to have the soul record retrieved for me to read it. The center of the floor started rotating. And from this whirlpool of energy, a massive golden being starts to emerge upwards from the floor. My astral body just stood there quietly, a bit shocked, just watching what was unfolding. And I'm thinking to myself, what did I just get involved in? After a short time, this incredibly large gold being sitting on a golden throne is before me. I felt a powerful yet benevolent energy emanating from this form. "We are what you're looking for. Come with me and I will show you." So I did. And out of the 100+ new galactic races I have now met and interacted with, this experience, without a doubt, remains the most dramatic entrance and introduction. And I must admit that this elaborate spectacle of a first encounter was appropriate for this group. They may just be the most powerful race of ETs that has ever and will ever exist. Let me introduce the Kregs, the galactic race that creates the universes. Welcome to my new and returning viewers. For those who are just tuning in, my name is Erin Lynn. I'm an Akashic record researcher and galactic channel. To help spread this cosmic awakening, please subscribe to the channel and like this video if you haven't already. I have also included PayPal, Venmo, Cash App, and Zelle donation links below should you feel called to support my work in that way. You can also support my research by booking a reading with me. The website is in the show notes. The galactic group featured was introduced to me in 2022 by a man named Ken, who is an energy healer. Ken was already in contact with these beings who told him that they were an unknown group. He couldn't really see them or get information on them besides their species name. Ken reached out to me to see if I could assist him. As if they were waiting for this opportunity, these beings flooded me with information about them and showed me around their planet. And as soon as I met them, Starseed clients from this realm started booking my Akashic record services, and the rest is, as they say, history. In this episode, we're going to both introduce an unknown galactic race as well as a new concept surrounding the creation of our universe. A universe consists of everything we know and can see with the best telescope technology we have, including even other areas we've yet to see or even know about. Obviously, universes are unfathomably massive structures that hold countless planets, star systems, and more. All universes, while technically are enclosed structures, they remain somewhat connected through dedicated portals or pass-through points. You can think of the universal aligned connections like a beehive with all these interconnecting hexagon-shaped cells. All unknown ET races I have discussed thus far in my videos have been from this universe. However, there are countless other universes that have existed before ours and even after ours that are just as vast. So how are these large universal structures created, and who creates them? Well, to answer these questions, we need to meet the Kregs. This is a galactic race that has a home base planet in every universe and is responsible for creating the big picture structures of all universes in existence. Kregs do not create individual planets. Those souls are called blueprinters. The Kreg's scope of work is much larger. The Kregs call Alpha Andromeda home in our universe. And the Arabic name for their planet is Alpheratz. Interestingly, Alpheratz makes up one corner of the Great Square of Pegasus. Although, on our astrological maps, Alpheratz is somehow considered part of the Andromeda constellation, the Kregs tell me that they do not consider themselves as Andromedans, but part of the Pegasus constellation. And this makes them neighbors to the Awevls and the Pegasians, whom I've covered in past videos. Check those out if you haven't already. It does not imply that the Kregs do not like or get along with the Andromedans, it's just how they see their location. In fact, the Kregs are very well liked and revered by other planets. Well, at least the benevolent ones. The Kregs were the first, and at the time of this recording, one of 8 planets in our universe that I'm aware of in the 17th dimension. I have interacted with all 8 of these galactic races and have had Akashic record reading clients who have had their soul origins there. Our universe is a 15th dimensional one. And I've previously made videos about the Alpha Duradians, the Ankans, and the Zavijavans, who are all in the 15th dimension, and their videos will be linked below. So how are they in the 17th dimension? Well, these planets are what I categorize as the preliminary realms. These preliminary realms have existed in a previous universe that came before our universe. And these realms were brought in at the very beginning of creation of our universe and were here well before any planets were created. Each preliminary realm provides a specific energetic foundation for life to even begin to exist. In theory, the Kregs are the very first of the preliminary realms to start the process because they are creating the start of the universe itself. Whenever the conversation turns to universe creation, outside of the Big Bang Theory, many spiritual people will think of creating one's own universe through vibration and thoughts. And this theory is called biocentrism, and explains how our individual consciousness shapes our own realities and, by extension, our own universes. So biocentrism follows a line of thinking that our subjective experiences define our reality, which dictates how we see and interact with the world around us, and that our entire reality is a co-creation with God, where those who are both observing, as well as those who are being observed, are experiencing their own unique reality. And this reality can change at any time to virtually anything, and many have hypothesized that this is how we create the universe. For those more scientifically oriented folks, they may be reminded of their Intro to Physics class in high school, which taught the landmark 1801 experiment by Thomas Young called the double slit experiment. And this research proved that particles of matter and light respond differently when being observed or measured in some way versus when they are ignored. The double slit experiment and biocentrism are connected in proving that yes, we can and do shape our worlds. However, the universal creation work that the Kregs are responsible for is different and in a way more tangible in nature. While I agree with both the concepts of biocentrism and the double slit experiment, especially as they relate to manifestation, the Kregs are responsible for creating the physical structure of a universe so life can begin for us to have all these co-creation experiences. The Kregs are about 25 feet or 7.6 meters tall. They have slender bodies with large heads. And it's interesting to note that all the preliminary realm galactic races that I have met thus far are similarly large. Kregs are a non-physical race that are like a bright yellow shade of gold. And even though they are non-physical, they appear almost physical. They have an opaque appearance, which is unique amongst other non-physical galactic races I have encountered. So these ETs are androgynous, meaning they're neither male or female. And I would describe them as humanoid, as they stand upright and have 2 arms and 2 legs. I never see them have any hair or wear any clothes. Kregs have 2 large black eyes that contain tremendous depth and wisdom. The Kregs can change their shapes from humanoid into flying orbs. And these beings can and do travel in both forms. And I was told that the traveling in the smaller orb form is more efficient. But I almost always encounter the Kregs in their humanoid form. While the Kregs are non-physical beings, their homeworld, Alpheratz, is physical. It's very green there with the blue sky, and it's colorful and feels energetically intense. And I observed these pillars of light that had golden bases. And shooting out skyward of these golden bases are white light beams that change color and have these gold orbs flying in and out of them. And these orbs are the beings themselves. What is possibly the most fascinating thing about the Kregs is that they can create a portal anytime, anywhere, to any universe by just taking their finger and drawing a golden outline in the ether. Inside this air drawing, the sky just falls away and becomes an interdimensional opening. They can come and go through that portal they just made. And I was shown that what was on the other side, it was of that freshly created portal, and it was a completely different world that I had never seen before. So another Kreg superpower is that they can effortlessly jump from one universe to the next with ease. So why is this a superpower? Travel from one universe to the next is difficult for two reasons. The first being that each universe has its own God or source energy. The location of our universal source energy is on Ankaa in the Phoenix constellation. All souls that originate from a particular universe are forever part of that source. So a soul is always tethered in some way to the original universal source. If a soul decides to incarnate and have experiences on another planet in another universe, they remain connected to their home universe, so their consciousness automatically becomes split. The second reason why travel to other universes is challenging is that each source origin has unique foundational energies. So regardless of what a planet a soul has lifetimes on, such as Arcturus, Pleiades, or even Earth, as long as it's within the same universe, then the basic energies are uniform, even if the planets and beings may look very different. To use a more grounded metaphor, in our universe, 1 + 1 = 2, and that is a foundational truth. In another universe, 1 + 1 may equal 5, and that is their foundational truth. Whenever I astral travel to a realm that's outside of this universe, I feel disoriented. It feels very different, as if my soul's essence doesn't mesh well with the energies that are present in this foreign system. This is a long explanation for why it's impressive that the Kregs can travel easily from one universe to another, because they don't have any tethers to any universe, and therefore their consciousness is never divided, nor do they ever feel that disorientation. On Earth, we work with linear time, and the rest of the universe doesn't. So the best way I can explain this process is through our earthly understanding. I was told that every 5 billion years, a new universe is created, and then the universe is populated over time with planets and life forms. And this is a very simplistic explanation of how it's done, because my Earth human brain really can't process all the details and steps involved in this, as it's outside my understanding. An instinct to create a new cosmic structure is sent to the Kregs. It's as if this need is encoded in their DNA. A seed of a universe seems to originate from the Kregs themselves, as if they give birth to it. And this seed, which will become the external structure of a universe, looks like a blue orb of energy with many Kreg beings surrounding it. It's as if the cosmos is in the palms of their hands. A white light, which looks like a lightning bolt, is shot into this orb, and it begins to expand, slowly at first, and then the process speeds up. This orb eventually starts to look like a thick band that is blue, deep blue at the top, with a thin white line in the middle, and is violet at the bottom. Over time, it expands into a massive structure. And this is still what the edge of our universe looks like, as it can be seen from the planet Noth, which I have covered in previous videos, which will be linked below. The Noths have a glorious view of the structure from their planet, and this process will take time and a tremendous amount of energy by many Kreg beings, and it seems exhausting even for them. Once the main structure is complete, there's still more work to do. There are always dedicated portals around the edge of the universe that allows controlled access for UAPs or even the beings themselves to enter neighboring universal structures. Different portals allow for specific types of vehicles or energies to pass through. The Kregs also engineer where these portals are located and how they will work. Later, some planets are created that are located next to those portals. The Kregs do not create the individual planets. Realm creation is handled by other beings who are called blueprinters. These strategically placed realms will then gatekeep or secure that transuniversal passageway. One example of a planet that does this are the Beta Sextantians. Their video is below. Once the basic cosmic structure is in place, a new source energy is split from the previous source to be placed in this new universe. The energies of the new source are then recalibrated by another group, not the Kregs, to have its unique signature. Then planets can begin to be built to populate this new cosmic system. We often hear that our universe is expanding, and that is true. It's both correct in the terms that new universes as well as new planets inside the established universes are being created regularly. While it's not the fate for every universal structure to end, a universe can be destroyed if the energetic balance gets too far off where it cannot be recentered. The Kregs will be responsible for destroying a universe if that is necessary. However, it's important to understand that energy, once created, cannot be destroyed, only to be transmuted or changed to something else. Nothing created is ever completely extinguished, and that same rule goes for universes, all the way down to our individual souls. I was told that Kregs are represented in every universe and have a dedicated homeworld in each. Once the initial hard work of universal structure creation is finished, the Kregs then pivot and take on the job of high-level detached observers of the planets. Kreg starseed souls are incarnated everywhere across our country on every planet in small numbers. And this is to see what's going on and send data back to Alpharats. If help is needed on a particular realm, the Kregs may step in, but only if it affects the universe as a whole. The Kregs are not interested in small planetary drama. Furthermore, I was told that they are referred by the same species name regardless of which universe they are operating in. So the Kregs are a trans-universal race. These powerful 17th dimensional beings are the technology themselves. Therefore, they don't really have gadgets. The Kregs do not need to have their own UAPs, but they may often be found on other galactic races' UAPs to assist or observe. The Kregs do assist the Galactic Federation of Light, but I don't see them as being ready for battle. If they do see something wrong, they will adjust it energetically. Again, their interests stay at high-level overview of how the cosmos is operating holistically. I also want to mention, and this comes from my own firsthand experiences with the Kregs, that they can manifest and make things happen the fastest out of any other galactic race I have met. If they want something to happen, you better be sure that it happens in 24 hours or less. If they tell me something, you better believe it manifests quickly. Kregs can move time and space for things to occur with precision, as they have the pull of the entire universe at their disposal. So what do the Kregs think of Earth? The Kregs see Earth as an important planet in this universe system that is a springboard for change. Yes, planets within our system ascend and descend all the time, but Earth holds an important part in that. This is why the Earth has gone through such hard times and it has been difficult to shake the darkness's firm grip on this world and its inhabitants. The Kregs find observing the transmuting of energy on Earth that has been going on for the past 5,000 years as fascinating. They see a bright future for our planet, and they are proud of those who are working for the light to make a positive change in this world despite all the obstacles. The Kregs love Earth and those who choose to incarnate here. They want to let people know that they are assisting as much as they can without interrupting our free will. I asked the Kregs if they can relate to us on Earth since we vibrate at such a lower dimension than them. And they responded, "We can relate to all matters of experience. We do not see souls as dimensions, but as energies having experiences to grow, expand, or assist others in their journeys." So circling back to that Carl Sagan quote at the beginning of this video, despite having such power and responsibility, at their core, the Kregs are still made of the same star stuff that we are also made. While they remain detached observers of all realms in our universe, the Kregs have a kind and compassionate energy about them. They have unshakable integrity and take their responsibilities seriously. Kregs also like structure and organization. I imagine they have witnessed firsthand anything and everything that could and can happen. This must make them very tolerant with the amount of wisdom the Kregs contain in their DNA. It is a massive responsibility this galactic race carries, not only for our universe, but all others that came before and after. I do hope that my explanation of these complex concepts and big picture processes was clear. It's not easy for me to put this knowledge into words. So how does this introduction to the Kregs and their mission change your ideas about the cosmos? Has anyone else experienced astral traveling to another universe and felt that disconnect? Or are you a starseed from another universe, and how does it affect how you interact with life here on Earth? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Any ET groups mentioned here that I've made videos about before, the links will be in the pinned comment. Should you want to have your Akashic record read by me, the link to the website is below. And if you enjoyed this video and want to see more content like this, kindly like and subscribe to the channel. Click that notification bell and enjoy my other videos highlighting other unknown galactic races in our universe. In the meantime, I love you all and welcome to a higher dimension.